Dylan Black with International Women's Day approaching. They're here to tell us their role. The Christian Children's Fund of Canada joins us right now. The CEO, as a matter of fact, it's Patrick Canagasingham joining us one more time on the show. Hello, Patrick. Nice to have you here. Now, can you just give us a brief history of the CCFC?
Absolutely. So CCFC has been in Canada for close to 6 decades. We work in 12 countries. We are also part of a global alliance called Child Fund Alliance. We are a child-focused agency, so we work with girls, we work with boys, but we also work with community members, primarily women.
Mm-hmm. Now, you actually are coming back from a trip to India.
That's correct. I just got back a couple of days ago. Had an opportunity to visit both our programs as well as visit some of our partners. I was really inspired by one particular project that I visited. It's about taking digital literacy to women in rural communities in India. It's a partnership that we have with Tata and Google India. And what digital literacy really does is it takes technology to places where technology is not accessible. And we use technology to do a couple of things. One is to obviously create literacy. But the second one, which is as important, is to create awareness. In many of the rural communities where we work, girls and women in particular don't actually understand and appreciate their rights, the rights that they have. So early and enforced child marriage, for example, is a big problem. And for women in particular, based on some of the challenges that they have, having access to education, access to healthcare, for example, these are huge issues. And what we've been able to do through this particular program is to provide an avenue for women to know that they do have certain rights and they can access certain services as well.
Okay, I know you're working on a lot of different aspects, including one where you're helping women have access to credit.
Absolutely. So in certain communities, as you know, for poor people, accessing credit is a huge problem. And for women in particular, it's a bigger problem. It gets further amplified in some of the communities and countries where we work. So what we've done is we've started village-level savings and loan associations, as we call them, where women would get together. And what we do is we provide access to credit. These are micro loans that are provided. And this enables women, particularly those who have a very entrepreneurial mindset, just not to access credit, but to actually earn a livelihood and to create a very thriving business in the communities where they live.
What about to women's empowerment groups?
It's a really good question. So with women's empowerment groups, it's really twofold. I just gave a couple of examples around access to basic services. But there's a bigger problem, Dylan, that we're facing in some of the communities, and it's violence against women. It's gender-based violence, including sexual abuse of women as well. And what we have done is in the countries where we work, the communities where we work, and the programs that we have designed, we've been quite deliberate and quite intentional in ensuring that women just don't understand and appreciate their rights, but they have recourse as well. They don't have to put up with status quo when it comes to violence against women. And this is an integral part of our interventions. And it starts right, we start with the girls, we work with youth, but we also work with women in these communities as well.
And I believe you mentioned education is always something that's so important in these areas, and you're working hard to make sure that every single woman gets proper education.
Absolutely. So again, the way we look at it is it's never too late. I talked about digital literacy in rural India, but even other communities and countries where we work, we just want to make sure that women have access to basic training, vocational training, for example, that they can access the workforce. So hence, yes, that's an integral part of the work that we do.
Okay, so with about 45 seconds left here, I just want to know how people can help.
So I want to say 2 things, Dylan. One is Canadians are making a difference. I've seen firsthand the impact of child sponsorship, for example. I've also seen how, you take the gift catalog that we have, for example, a girl can go to school because a generous supporter has taken it upon herself or himself to support the specific initiatives and specific interventions that CCFC is focusing on. Our website, ccfcanada.ca, provides further opportunities for our supporters to engage us.
And I do notice that gift catalog, you can even buy a cow.
You can buy a cow, absolutely. You can actually send a girl to school. You can buy a backpack.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Patrick, CEO at the CCFC. We appreciate your time.